Hi, it's Lisa. Well, it looks like this Halloween dark academia seems to be the big thing. And to me that means a lot of bugs, a lot of skulls, a lot of anatomy, some ravens, all that fun stuff. And you might have seen something similar to this being made. If not, I was just going to show you how easy they are to make. Of course, the first thing you're going to need is some frames and some bugs, and then just some material, whatever you want. The bugs can come from the Dollar Tree, or you can get them off of Amazon. If you're going to get them off of Amazon, look for large beetles or 5-inch or 5.5-inch bugs, 5.5-inch beetles, and usually you can get them for a couple of dollars a piece, so it's a lot cheaper if you can find them at the Dollar Tree, or sometimes at Walmart or other department stores you can just find them in the kids aisles for the where all the animals and just the little plastic figurines are. So what I did was, I had a friend named Andrea. Thank you, Andrea, for giving me some frames that she had in her stash. She had 4, and they were these light brown wood frames, this color. And I just took them and spray painted them black because I'm all about doing things fast. The only thing about using spray paint, of course, is that you need to wait a day or two because the smell, obviously, you need at least for it to fully cure before that smell goes away, and usually that's about 72 hours and sometimes a little longer. And whatever material you want to put in them, I've already spray painted mine black. I just found some scrap piece of upholstery velvet. It doesn't have to be velvet, just whatever you like. Probably a solid color. And then whatever color you wanted your bug to be, you spray paint it, or you can leave them plain. My spray painted mine gold. Whatever spray paint you get, make sure it is good for plastic and rubber. In this case, I wanted mine metallic gold, and I had an old can. It was not for plastic, so I added another layer of high gloss varnish to hold in so it wouldn't chip off. The bugs can come in different colors. They can come in, these came with a little bit of paint on them, but basically just black. But, you know, you don't even have to paint them. You could leave them the color that they are and maybe put it on a lighter colored material. But all I do is take your back off. I've already taken the glass out of these when I spray painted them, but then you would take your glass out. I didn't spray paint the back of mine because nobody's going to see that, and I'm not selling them. They're just for my little spot. And since I didn't want, you could just put your material right on your backing, but I'm going to put mine on a piece of cardstock just in case I want to just peel it off at some point and reuse it. So I ran my piece of cardstock, which fit exactly the back of my frame. I just ran mine through a Xyron machine. You could always just use glue or even some double-sided sticky tape. And a lot of times it'll just sit in there by itself anyway. And this way I could add my material quickly by itself. And like I said, you could just use double-sided sticky tape. You could just use some glue. But if it's velvet or a really thin material, the glue would probably show, so you'd probably just want to tack it down on the corners. And then just make sure I can't see over through there. This way, maybe I can. There we go. Press it down a little bit. And then I'm just going to use my scissors and trim it off. These are my material scissors, so I'm being really careful to make sure that I don't touch the cardstock. I've already given my son and husband the talking to. If you see gold, you're not allowed to touch them. I caught my husband one time using my fabric scissors to open his popsicles with. I was wondering why they were getting dull. I'm sitting there like, no! And he was like, what? I'm like, those are my fabric scissors. I'm like, he's like, well, they cut my popsicles just fine. Like, yeah, you would not be on my happy list today. So anyway, had to get another pair of fabric scissors. So there we go, just cut along the edge. Voided the paper with my fabric scissors. And then I'm going to attach this to the back just with a little bit of hot glue so I can pull it off if I need to. This frame is a little unique in that it has an inset. So you have to watch what kind of, where this piece right will go right in there. So I need to make sure I don't put anything on top of that little sliver. So I'm just going to take my hot glue and just do a little quick yum, 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 yum. Goopy, it doesn't have to be great. Just attach it there. And then I'm going to put it back in my frame. Turn it over. And if you do use velvet, everything sticks to it, whether it's dust or hair. I always just use a piece of tape, or in this case, a little sticker that still had some sticky lip to it to clean it off with. And then you want to attach your bug, figure out where you want to put it. So try to center it up. In this case, my frame was sort of small, so my bug wouldn't fit all the way in there, so I decided I wanted this to be the focal point. And that way I wanted it all the way in the frame, because it would just look weird if it was up here. So legs dangling down a little bit are okay. And so what I need to do was to, oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, I'm going to put a little gold edging. I'm just using a Krylon gold pen. I don't know if you can even see that. My lighting's not that good. Down here in the basement where I'm at. Krylon 18 karat gold leafing pen. You can get those on Amazon. Sometimes they have them in Walmart as well. Just shake them up. Then to get it started, just do that a little bit. And then I'm not want to put much. I just want enough for a little highlighting. And if you use your finger, sometimes it makes it nice, easier to guide it to keep a straighter line. And I don't want it really thick, so I'll try to hold back a little bit. You could even put it on your finger if you don't want much. You can use rub and buff, or you don't have to use anything at all. I've even seen people use embossing powder. You know, just run it along the edges, just give it some color. You could use some cinnamon and some glue to give it more of a rusty look, if that's what you like. Or if you want it to look mossy, take some parsley or basil and crush it up, and then just use some Elmer's glue or white glue. Stick it in the corners to give it like that mossy buildup. Okay, that's okay. Don't need much. Just enough to make my bug look like he belongs there. And then where did I put my... Oh, here it is. E6000. Because you could just stick them on with hot glue, but there's a good chance this is a little heavy and it'll just start sagging. And so after a little period of time, I like to make sure it's going to be on there. And always put your E6000 on first if you're going to use hot glue with it, because the hot glue helps hold it on, because it takes longer for this to set, and that will set up really quick. It's hard. It's getting old. And I don't need much of that on there, just a little bit in a couple spots. I'll put it in the center to give me a blob. And then I'm going to hit some high points, get my cat off my computer. Use the high points here. Try to make it semi-even. Oh, that looks about right. Close enough. And just press it for a second so the hot glue can take. And voila! That's it! All done. That's how fast and easy it is. The hardest part and the longest part would be just painting your frame and painting your bug to whatever colors you want it. And you might can just get a frame the color you want. And you might want to keep the bug the same color. So if you did that, you would just glue them together and you'd have yourself right on the way to Dark Academia. Thanks for watching.